They taught us to smile when we bleeding inside. Taught us to say I'm fine when we dying to cry. Beautiful lies dressed in ugly truths. It's for everyone who lost themselves trying to fit the suit. We are beautiful lies wearing masks we can't remove. Taught to hide our scars like they something to prove. Say we good when we drown and say we straight when we bent. Beautiful lies we tell until we don't know where they went. True too ugly for the camera, so we Photoshop the pain. Smile for the world while we suffocate in the rain. Beautiful lies, that's what they made us become. Can't tell the truth no more, cause we forgot where we from. Mama said don't let them see you cry, boys don't break. So I learned to drown in silence for appearance sake. Empty driveway taught me lies about being okay. Smile through the absence like it's just another day. School said fit in, so I folded who I was. Shaped myself into boxes that never fit, because they wanted carbon copies, not the original print. So I became a beautiful lie with an ugly hint. Boss man said leave your problems at the door. Like trauma got a zip code it don't travel for. So I smiled through the meeting while my soul corrodes. Another beautiful liar on these corporate roads. How many masks till we forget our face? How many lies till the truth gets erased? They say honesty's the policy, but honestly, policy been lying since they wrote the prophecy. We all beautiful lies wearing masks we can't remove. Taught to hide our scars like they something to prove. Say we good when we drown and say we straight when we bent. Beautiful lies we tell until we don't know where they went. True too ugly for the camera, so we Photoshop the pain. Smile for the world while we suffocate in the rain. Beautiful lies, that's what they made us become. Can't tell the truth no more, cause we forgot where we from. Social media making beautiful liars go pro. Whole timeline faker than the followers we show. Living my best life with tears behind the lens. Blessed and highly favored but can't afford the rent. We lie about our pain, cause pain don't get no likes. Lie about our struggles, cause struggle ain't the hype. Built pyramids of pretense on foundations made of sand. Now we slaves to illusions we don't even understand. Politicians promise change with their fingers crossed behind. We vote for beautiful lies, cause the truth too hard to find. Even love became performance goals for the timeline, while real connection dying on the beautiful lie vine. But what happens when the mask cracks? When the beautiful lie can't hide the facts? When the ugly truth starts bleeding through? When the world finally sees the real you? Maybe ugly truth more beautiful than beautiful lies. Maybe scars tell better stories than our best disguise. Maybe it's time to let the masks fall where they may. Maybe truth the only thing that's gonna save the day. We all beautiful lies, but we don't have to be. Take off the mask, let the ugly truth breathe. Say we hurt when we hurt, and say we lost when we lost. Beautiful lies too expensive, look at what they cost. Truth might be ugly, but at least the truth is real. Rather be hated for my scars than love for what I conceal. Beautiful liars, we can still change what we've become. Tell the truth today, remember where we from. To every beautiful liar listening into this, your truth ain't ugly, it's just truth. And truth is the most beautiful thing you'll ever own, even when it hurts. Zay Renz, beautiful liars. It's time to take the mask off.
They paint the chains gold and call it jewelry. Turn poverty to poetry, make struggle feel like glory. But I see through the beautiful lie, time to tell the ugly truth about this golden cage. Golden cage, they dressed it up nice. Said the struggle make you stronger, that's the price. Romanticize the grind till we fall in love with pain. Beautiful lie, they got us worshiping the chain. Golden cage, bar shimmer in the light. Tell us we inspiring when we fight to survive. Turn our trauma into content, make it trend and engage. But it's still a prison when you paint a golden cage. They love our scars but not our healing, need us broken for the plot. Love success stories from the bottom, never question why we not given equal opportunity. Just bootstrap mythology, turn systemic poverty into personal biology. Look how far you came, but why I had to start so low. You so inspiring, inspiration shouldn't hurt though. They consume our pain like entertainment on demand. Documentations about our struggle, never lend a helping hand. Mama ran double shifts, they called it dedication, never called it exploitation or a failed nation. Said her sacrifice was beautiful, her exhaustion was pride. But ain't nothing beautiful about choosing which builder let's slide. They need us climbing so they feel feel like the system works. Need our success to justify the ones they left in dirt. Every rapper from the gutter just proves the game is fair. Never mind the millions still trapped in there. Golden cage, they dressed it up nice. Said the struggle make you stronger, that's the price. Romanticize the grind till we fall in love with pain. Beautiful lie, they got us worshiping the chain. Golden cage, bars shimmer in the light. Tell us we inspire when we fight to survive. Turn our trauma into content, make it trending and engage. But it's still a prison when you paint a golden cage. Social media love to start it from the bottom narrative. Long as we don't mention why the bottom's still comparative to third world conditions in a first world nation. They want rags to riches, not class conversation. Grind culture got us bragging about our sleep deprivation. Flex how many jobs we work, like that's not degradation. Hustle harder, with the hardest work and still stay broke. While trust fund babies preach about grind, man, what a joke. They gentrify and struggle, make it fashionable to suffer. Designer vintage poverty, distress, denim buffer between them and the reality of empty stomach pain. They wearing our aesthetic while we drowning in the rain. But what if we stop calling cages castles? What if we stop making poverty pretty? What if we name the system, not the symptom? What if we demanded more than just pity? The beautiful lies that suffering builds character. The ugly truth is, it just builds more profit for the ones who paint our cages gold and sell our stories once they told. I made it out, but I ain't forgot the one still in it. Success don't erase the system, just change my position in it. Now they use my story to perpetuate the lie. If he did it, you can too, but we know that's not why. Millions work harder than me and still can't break free. Cause the cage ain't about work ethic, it's about pedigree. About zip codes and skin tones, about access and connection. About generational wealth, not personal perfection. So yeah, I'm grateful, but I'm also f***ing angry that my exception to the rule is what they used to paint me. It's proof the cage ain't real, just a mindset to defeat. While they profit off the struggle from that penthouse suite. Golden cage, we see through your lies. Struggle ain't beautiful when babies cry. Stop romanticizing pain like it's something to maintain. Time to break these golden bars and break this golden chain. Golden cage, we done with the show. Done being inspiration, pouring for your soul. We want revolution, not just likes on a page. Time to burn it down, this golden cage. To everyone still trapped in golden cages, your struggle ain't beautiful, it's injustice. Your pain ain't poetic, it's systemic. And you deserve more than golden chains. You deserve freedom. Zay Renz, golden cage. Time to melt it down.
Breaking news, another tragedy. Swipe up for more, like and share the misery. We call it awareness, but what we really raising, just tourists in someone else's pain. Welcome to the tour, admission's free. Front row seats to someone else's tragedy. Swipe through the pain like it's entertainment. Drama tourists in the basement. Click consume, forget repeat. Making content out of someone's defeat. Beautiful lie, we're spreading awareness. Ugly truth, we're just voyeurs being careless. Death trending at #1, everybody got opinions. Strangers dissecting grief like board certified clinicians. Comment section full of hearts but empty of comprehension. Turn someone's worst day into your Twitter mention. Algorithm feeding suffering like morphine through the screen. Dopamine hit every time we see a nightmare scene. Thoughts and prayers the new currency, but what's the exchange rate? Copy paste condolences while the next tragedy waits. We collect catastrophes like Pokemon cards. Rate disasters 1 through 10, judge how hard it's scarred. Live streaming breakdowns for the digital applause. But when the camera's off, do we really give a pause? Notification says someone's world just ended. So we watch for 30 seconds, act like we're offended. Share it to our story, now we're activists, right? Then scroll to something funny, out of mind, out of sight. Welcome to the tour, admission's free. Front row seats to someone else's tragedy. Swipe through the pain like it's entertainment. Trauma tourists in the basement. Click consume, forget repeat. Making content out of someone's defeat. Beautiful lie, we're spreading awareness. Ugly truth, we're just voyeurs being careless. True crime podcast playing while we do the dishes. Someone's obituary, turn to our guilty wishes. Rate my trauma 5 stars if it made you cry. Subscribe for more content where real people die. New cycle spins tragedy into a commodity. 24/7 buffet of human calamity. We're all addicted, but we call it being informed. Mainlining misery until our hearts are malformed. Kids filming fights instead of breaking them apart. Going viral more important than a beating heart. Document the drowning but won't throw the rope. Turn suffering to content, that's how we cope. When did pain become our entertainment? When did grief
become our engagement? When did someone's worst moment become our best post? When did we become the vultures we hate the most? The beautiful lie says we're building empathy. The ugly truth, we're building apathy. Consuming so much pain, we can't feel it anymore. Just tourists taking pictures of a never-ending war. I'm guilty too, watched the video, shared the link. Felt important for a second, didn't stop to think that behind every headline is a human being breaking. Behind every story is a soul that's aching. We turn suffering into social currency to trade. More concerned with being first than being aid. Disaster capitalism got us all employed, building platforms on the backs of the destroyed. But what if we stopped touring and started healing? Stopped recording and started feeling? What if awareness meant more than just watching? What if we traded our tickets for something worth copping? No more tours through someone's tragedy. No more seats to their catastrophe. Stop the pain parade, this ain't entertainment. Time to check out a trauma's basement. Click less, care more, break the repeat. Human dignity ain't content to compete. Beautiful lie exposed, we ain't spreading awareness. Ugly truth revealed, time to show we careness. To everyone whose pain became our entertainment, to everyone whose worst day became our best content, we sorry, we'll do better. Cause humans ain't tourist attractions, and trauma ain't a spectator sport. Time to turn off the tour. Zay Renz, no more trauma tourists, no more.
We look so good in pictures, but can't look each other in the eyes. Beautiful lies we selling, while the ugly truth slowly dies.
Posted you with heart emojis while we barely speaking. Hashtag relationship goals, but the foundation's leaking. Smile for the gram while we sleeping back to back. Playing perfect in public, but in private we just act. Remember when we used to talk without the phones between us? Now we comment on each other's posts like we ain't seen us. Living for the likes, while our love light dims. Beautiful performance, but behind the curtains grim.
We became actors in our own love story, more concerned with looking good than feeling sorry. When did we start loving the idea more than us? When did keeping up appearances mean more than trust?
We're perfect strangers living beautiful lives,
Curating highlights while the real love dies.
playing house for everyone except each other. Two actors who forgot how to be lovers.
The world thinks we're winning, but we already lost.
Too busy being perfect, didn't count the cost.
Beautiful lies can't hide ugly truths forever. Perfect strangers, is this really better? I dress up for dinners where we don't even talk. Post couple selfies, then we barely take a walk. You hold my hand for pictures, then you let it go. We're method acting love, but forgot the real show. I know your Instagram better than your mental state. We plan our posts together, but can't communicate. Anniversary captions, hiding daily frustration. We're just avatars now, lost in translation.
We fight in DMs cause we can't do it face to face. Screenshot arguments, but in public we embrace. You know my post smile, not my real expression. We so good at filters, can't have real discussion. They see vacation pics, don't see the silent flights. See the dinner dates, don't see the lonely nights. We professionals at pretending we're okay, but when the camera's off, got nothing left to say.
When did love become performance art?
When did we forget the hardest part?
Being real when it ain't pretty.
Being honest when it's gritty.
I miss the us before the light.
Before we turned our love to mics.
Recording everything but feeling nothing.
Perfect strangers, we became something we never wanted. Maybe if we put the phones down,
Maybe if we took the mask off,
could we find what we lost in the pixels?
could we be love instead of signals?
I'm tired of being your co-star.
I'm tired of wondering where you are. Even when you're right beside me, you feel like a perfect stranger to me. We're perfect strangers living beautiful lives,
But maybe there's still truth behind our eyes.
if we stop the show, could we find each other?
Two
together.
I'd rather be messy with you than perfect with a stranger. The beautiful lie is killing us, but the ugly truth might save us.
Careful what you say, they got the screenshots ready. Walking through a minefield with machetes. One wrong word and you're trending for the wrong thing. Duck, dodge, weave through the timeline. They digging up receipts from '09. Every tweet's evidence, every post a case. Better lawyer up before you show your face. Screenshot soldiers with their fingers on the trigger. Quote tweet army making small things bigger. One slip, one clip, now you public enemy. They playing judge and jury through they double tap energy. I still say what I mean, let the chips fall where they land. Rather be real and wrong than fake with the right brand. They want robots, I'm giving them human with the flaws. Speaking truth in a world that only clap for applause. Used to self-censor, have my thoughts on airplane mode. Triple checking every word like I'm cracking the Da Vinci Code. But life's too short to be living in a panic room. My truth might offend, but lies will be your doom. I've seen heroes become villains in a Twitter thread. Whole careers buried by something they never said. Context extinct like a dinosaur with no hope. They crop the conversation, frame you with a cut quote. But I'm still talking, still walking my line. If growth ain't allowed, then we frozen in time. Rather be problematic with a chance to evolve than perfect in public with nothing resolved. They're watching, they're waiting, they're screen recording. Your old self versus new self, their scoreboard hoarding. Red light, green light, but the game ain't fair. One wrong move and you're canceled in the square. Duck, dodge, weave through the timeline. They digging up receipts from '09. Every tweet's evidence, every post a case. Better lawyer up before you show your face. Screenshot soldiers with their fingers on the trigger. Quote tweet army making small things bigger. One slip, one clip, now you public enemy. They playing judge and jury through they double tap energy. They want apologies for thoughts I ain't finished thinking. I'm drowning in shame while they poolside drinking. Moral Olympics, but everybody doping. Throwing stones from glass houses, windows wide open. I delete my drafts, but keep my diary honest. Growing in public's like surgery without aesthetics, I promise. But I'd rather bleed truth than bandage with lies. My mistakes in 4K while theirs in disguise. We playing Simon Says with our humanity. One wrong gesture and they question your sanity. But I'm Muhammad Ali, dancing while they swing. Dodging bullets made of hashtags and act signs like bling. Platform turned to proving ground for who's most pure. Perfection's a prison and I'm breaking the door. Let them screenshot this, I'm flawed and I'm learning. Rather be real in flames than fake without burning.
Why you gotta be so loud? Cause whispers never change the crowd. They gon' twist everything you say. Let them truth don't bend anyway. Your career could end with one mistake. Then it wasn't real, it was already fake. Playing games where nobody wins. But we still here dodging digital sins.
Dodge, weave through the timeline. They digging up receipts from '09. Every tweet's evidence, every post a case. Better lawyer up before you show your face. Screenshot soldiers with their fingers on the trigger. Quote tweet army making small things bigger. Not kid, one clip, now you public enemy. They playing judge and jury through they double tap energy.
Game over!
High score, cancel. Nah, high score, still me. Insert coin to continue. I got unlimited lives, homie.
They say forgiveness sets you free, but whose freedom we talking about? Cause every time I forgive, they repeat. Some things deserve to stay unforgiven.
unforgiven, and I'm at peace with that. Some wounds too deep to take it back. They want me to forgive, so they can't sleep at night, but I choose my healing over making them feel right. Beautiful lie, forgiveness is the key. Ugly truth, some doors should stay locked to me. Call me bitter if it helps you cope, but unforgiving is how some of us find hope.
Mama said forgive your father, but he ain't asked for it. Society say let it go, but they ain't the ones who lost from it. Forgiveness became currency for the guilty to collect, while victims pay the price with the pain they resurrect. They weaponize our healing, make us think we stuck if we don't absolve the ones who left us forgive and forget. Now I remember every scar. Some bridges deserve to burn, some doors should stay ajar. Pastor preaching forgiveness while the offering plate passed, but Jesus flipped tables when the disrespect was crashed. Some things unforgivable, and that's biblical too. Sometimes no is holy, sometimes rage is truth. They need our forgiveness like a get out of jail card. Need us to co-sign so they conscience ain't scarred. But healing ain't about their comfort, it's about our peace. And sometimes peace means letting war increase. Unforgiven, and I'm at peace with that. Some wounds too deep to take it back. They want me to forgive, so they can't sleep at night, but I choose my healing over making them feel right. Beautiful lie, forgiveness is the key. Ugly truth, some doors should stay locked to me. Call me bitter if it helps you cope, but unforgiving is how some of us find hope. Generational trauma, dresses, that's just how they are. Expected to forgive will put us where we are. Abuse disguises culture, pain disguises love, then gaslight us to forgive what we rising above. They say holding grudges weighs you down, that's facts, but know what's heavier? Letting toxin back. Forgiveness ain't erasure, it ain't no magic spell. Some people deserve exactly the boundaries we set. Social media therapists preaching let it go, but letting go don't mean letting them back though. I can release the anger without releasing the lesson. Some unforgiveness is the ultimate blessing. To everyone forced to forgive their abuser, to everyone told they bitter, not a chooser, your unforgiveness is valid, your boundaries divine. Some people forfeit forgiveness by design. The beautiful lie wants you weak and compliant. The ugly truth says your anger self-reliant. They call it bitter, I call it awake. Some things unforgiven for sanity's sake. I forgave myself for trusting those who left me broken. Forgave myself for years of leaving truth unspoken. But I won't forgive the ones who knew and chose to harm. Won't pretend that poison is a healing balm. My unforgiveness is my armor, my shield, my crown. It's the reason I can stand here, won't back down. They want forgiveness, let them earn it from their God. I'm too busy healing to play along with the facade. Unforgiven, and I'm at peace with that. Some wounds too deep to take it back. They want me to forgive, so they can't sleep at night, but I choose my healing over making them feel right. Beautiful lie, forgiveness is the key. Ugly truth, some doors should stay locked to me. Call me bitter if it helps you cope, but unforgiving is how some of us find hope. Some stones too heavy to throw away. Some wounds too deep to kiss and make okay. And that's okay. Your healing don't require their pardon. Your peace don't require their absolution. Unforgiven and finally free. Zay Renz, unforgiven. Some beautiful lies ain't worth believing.
They said I'd find my other half, like I was born incomplete. Beautiful lie had me searching for myself in someone else, till I learned the ugly truth. I thought I needed you to make me whole, gave you pieces of my unfinished soul. Beautiful lie, you complete me, had me lost. Now I'm learning what that fantasy cost. Half plus half don't equal one, that's the math I missed. Two broken pieces can't create what don't exist. exist. Had to lose you just to find I was already whole. Just needed to discover my own soul.
Walking through memories like galleries of pain. Each photo a reminder of the person I became. Not who I was, but who I morphed into for you. Shape-shifting my essence till I lost my own view. Called it compromise, but it was really erosion. Waves of your needs wearing down my devotion to myself, see that's the plot twist in the story. Lost myself in your reflection, called it glory. They romanticize the merger to becoming one, but what they don't tell you about the person you become. When you pour yourself empty trying to fill someone else, end up hollow as the promises you tell yourself. Searching for salvation in another's eyes, building my foundation on romantic lies. If you need someone to complete you, what happens when they leave? That's the ugly truth hiding up love's sleeve.
I needed you to make me whole. Gave you pieces of my unfinished soul. Beautiful lie, you complete me, had me lost. Now I'm learning what that fantasy calls. Half plus half don't equal one, that's the math I missed. Two broken pieces can't create what don't exist. Had to lose you just to find I was already whole. Just needed to discover my own soul.
Mirror work different when you stop looking for them. Started seeing me without your reflections lens. Every flaw I hated was a story I'd forgotten. Every scar I hit was proof of wars I fought and won. Solitude became my teacher, silence my friend. Learning the difference between lonely and alone again. Lonely is the absence of another's validation. Alone is the presence of your own foundation. They sell us soulmates like we're born with half a heart, but the real mathematics is your whole from the start. Just convinced otherwise by love songs and movies. That pain independence is something we're losing. Started dating myself, taking me out to eat. Learning my own love language in the driver's seat. Stopped asking someone else to heal what they didn't break. Realized my wholeness was never theirs to take. The beautiful lie had me thinking I was half. The ugly truth showed me how to do the math. One whole person plus one whole person equals two. Not one, that fusion fantasy ain't true. Now I understand why we couldn't make it work. Two people searching for themselves, just double the hurt. You can't give what you don't have, can't receive what you won't claim. Both playing hide and seek in each other's pain, but I'm grateful for the lesson wrapped inside the loss. Sometimes you gotta break to calculate the cost of believing that your worth lies in someone else's hands. Now I'm drawing blueprints for my own promised land. I don't need you to make me whole. Found the pieces of my integrated soul. Beautiful lie exposed, you complete me was the trap. Ugly truth revealed, I was whole, just needed the map. 1 + 1 = 2, that's the real math. Two whole souls choosing share the same path. Had to lose you just to find I was already whole. Just needed to discover my own soul. To everyone searching for their other half, you're already whole. To everyone who lost themselves in love, you're still there, just come home. The most beautiful truth I ever learned was hidden in the ugliest goodbye. I am whole, I was always whole.
They say you can't move forward looking back, but sometimes the rear view, the only mirror that don't lie.
Rearview confessions, I see who I buried alive. Every ghost in my mirror asking why that to die. Success is a hearse for the person you used to be. Now I'm haunted by versions that I murdered to be free. Check the rearview, check the damage, check the cost. Every blessing came with something that I lost. Can't you turn on decisions that already turned to dust? Rearview confessions, man, this growth expensive as fuck. I used to count quarters, now I'm quarter life crisis rich. Same hunger, different table, but the appetite switch. Old friends look at me like I'm speaking in tongues. Success changed my frequency, now we breathe through different lungs. I'm bilingual in survival, fluent in goodbye. Every see you later was a this is where we die. Transformation ain't a glow up, it's a burial service for every version of yourself that no longer serves purpose. They say the past is prologue, but mine's an obituary, full of names I had to bury to become legendary. I visit old blocks like graveyards, paying my respects to dreams that had to die so new ones could collect.
Every milestone is a memorial. Every level up feels territorial.
between who I was and who I became. Success is just survival with a different name. Review confessions, I see who I buried alive. Every ghost in my mirror asking why I had to die. Success is a hearse for the person you used to be. Now I'm haunted by versions that I murdered to be free. Check the rear view, check the damage, check the cost. Every blessing came with something that I lost. Can't you turn on decisions that already turned to dust? Rear view confessions, man, this growth expensive as fuck. I'm archaeological with my trauma, digging up bones. Every skeleton in my closet built my throne. The block still whispers my dead name when I pass through, but that person died in pursuit of this avenue. Success tastes like copper, that's the blood on my hands from all the bridges I burned to build where I stand. My shadow homesick for concrete it ain't touched in years, but evolution demands sacrifice, that's the cost of tears. Old me would've shared this plate till we all ate. New me learned that some tables require a certain weight. Not selfish, just selective with my energy now. Cause drowning while saving others ain't heroic. That's how you become a cautionary tale in your own story, trading survival for a glorified purgatory.
They say you can't go home again, cause home is a person, not a place you've been. And that person had to die for this one to survive. Every gain's a funeral, every win's a wake. Success is learning which parts of yourself to forsake. I check my rear view like a medium at a seance, trying to make peace with the ghosts.
I'm a time traveler stuck between departures and arrivals. My past and present in a custody battle for survival. The person I was will hate who I became, that's growth. We outgrow ourselves like snakes shedding dead coats. Every remember win is a reminder of the cost. Every you change is a receipt for what I lost. But loss is just the price of evolution's taxation. You can't transform without some form of assassination of the self that kept you small, kept you safe, kept you stuck. Sometimes becoming requires burning who you was. Rear view confessions, I see who I buried alive. Every ghost in my mirror asking why they had to die. Success is a hearse for the person you used to be. Now I'm haunted by versions that I murdered to be free. Check the rear view, check the damage, check the cost. Every blessing came with something that I lost. Can't you turn on decisions that already turned to dust? Rear view confessions, man, this growth's expensive as fuck.
Some ghosts you gotta let haunt you. Some death's necessary for the resurrection. Check your mirrors, but don't stare too long. The road ahead needs your full attention. Zay Renz.
Sometimes the ones who guide others home still lost in their own storm. But maybe that's the point. I keep my light on, even when I'm drowning. Flash the beam strong, even when I'm doubting. Broken glass still reflects, watch it shine through the cracks. Lighthouse living, guide you home while I'm finding my way back. SOS and Morse code, that's my native tongue. Teaching how to breathe with water in my lungs. We all just damaged goods, trying to navigate the black. Lighthouse living, guide you home while I'm finding my way back. Still wake up drowning some nights, gasping for air, but I learned to swim through panic. Now I teach others how to dare. My foundation's cracked concrete and borrowed time, but somehow still standing. Guess broken's part of the design. See, I ain't healed, I'm healing, that's the difference they don't tell. Can't guide nobody to heaven when you still burning in hell. But I share my coordinates from every time I fell. Maybe my disasters help you navigate yours well. Used to hate my damage, try to hide every break, till I realized my fractures let the light escape. Now I'm translucent, trauma see through with my pain. Cause somebody need to know that storms ain't permanent rain. Who said God's gotta be whole? Who said broken can't console? Maybe the lost trust the lost, cause we know what rescue costs. I keep my light on, even when I'm drowning. Flash the beam strong, even when I'm doubting. Broken glass still reflects, watch it shine through the cracks. Lighthouse living, guide you home while I'm finding my way back. SOS and Morse code, that's my native tongue. Teaching how to breathe with water in my lungs. We all just damaged goods, trying to navigate the black. Light Lighthouse living, got you home while I'm finding my way back. My light flickers, anxiety still got me some days. Depression fog so thick, can't see through my own maze. But I keep beaming anyway, cause somebody might need to see that even lighthouses sometimes barely breathe. Service ain't about perfection, it's about showing up broken. Being proof that shattered glass could still be outspoken. I spell SOS while sending SOS, that's real. Teaching others to float while I'm learning how to heal. They think lighthouse means you made it, nah, it means you stayed through every storm that should've washed your ass away. Now you're just too stubborn to let darkness win, so you burn yourself to guide others in. Truth is, I'm still scared of the dark. Truth is, still got water in my lungs. But if my shaking light helps one person breathe, then maybe drowning had a purpose underneath. We all just broken bulbs trying to illuminate, cracked vessels leaking light at heaven's gate. See, real lighthouses ain't built, we're broken into shape. Every storm that tried to kill us just widened our escape. Now light pours through the damage, cracks become the design. What tried to destroy us became how we shine. I ain't special, just stubborn, refuse to go dark. Now I'm Morse code for the broken, bleeding question marks. Saying yeah, I'm scared too, but we're scared together. Yeah, the storm's still raging, but storms ain't forever. Some nights I barely flicker, some nights I'm bright as hell. But consistency ain't the point, it's that I'm here to tell the damage good, still good. That broken still can guide, that sometimes the best lighthouse are the ones that nearly died. I keep my light on, even when I'm drowning. Flash the beam strong, even when I'm doubting. Broken glass still reflects, watch it shine through the cracks. Lighthouse living, guide you home while I'm finding my way back. SOS in Morse code, that's my native tongue. Teaching how to breathe with water in my lungs. We all just damaged goods, trying to navigate the black. Lighthouse living, guide you home while I'm finding my way back. To everyone still lost at sea, I'm burning for you. Not cause I made it, because I'm making it, just like you will. One broken light to another, keep flickering. Zay Renz, Lighthouse, we all we got.
They think I lost control, but chaos is an art form when you know the physics. Let me show you how to dance with disaster and make it look beautiful.
Perpendicular living, I don't move how they expect. Calculated chaos, every slide I architect. They see smoke and there's some fire, but I'm ice in the turn. Counter steering through the bullshit, lessons they'll never learn. Life tried to spin me out, I turned it into style. Rubber burning bridges, but I'm grinning all the while. Control catastrophe, I make disasters graceful. Every near miscalculated, nothing here wasteful. Angel of attack, that's how I approach my problems. Sideways through the obstacles while others try to solve them. Oversteer the narrative when they try to box me in. Understeer impossible, I was born to spin. Smoke screens hide the precision, my madness. What looks like losing grip is really me the baddest. Clutch kick reality when it gets too predictable. Sideways the only way when straight's typical. Going sideways, burning rubber on the expectations. Going sideways, turn my problems into celebrations. Smoke in the air, but my vision crystal clear. They think I'm out of control, but I'm the engineer. Going sideways, making angels in the ass. Going sideways, turn the chaos to my default. Precision in the madness, method in the slide. Beautiful destruction with me as the guide. E-break existence when the straight path gets boring. Handbrake turns through heartbreak, now I'm soaring. Weight transfer wisdom, know when to shift the balance. Momentum is a mindset, master of my palace. They want linear progress, I give them figure eights. Infinity loops through their mind while I demonstrate that forward ain't the only form of acceleration. Sometimes you gotta slide to reach your destination. Tire marks like signatures, I'm signing every street. Apex predator, I make the corner sweet. They grip too tight and snap, I flow with the force. Sideways mathematician, I recalculate the course.
Let me break down the physics. When you going straight, you predictable. When you sideways, you adaptable. They can't track what they can't predict. Sometimes the shortest distance ain't a straight line. Sometimes you gotta slide to really shine.
Stereoscopic living, spinning, but I'm stable. Turning disadvantage into something capable. They want me in my lane, but I create my own. Drifting through dimensions that they never known. Talk, horsepower, homilies I'm preaching. Grip limits, just suggestions that I'm breaching. RPM philosophy, redline my potential. Going sideways ain't wrong, it's preferential. Going sideways, burning rubber on the expectations. Going sideways, turn my problems into celebrations. Smoke in the air, but my vision crystal clear. Think I'm out of control, but I'm the engineer. Going sideways, making angels in the air. Going sideways, turn the chaos to my default. Precision in the madness, method in the slide. Beautiful destruction, with me as the guide.
They fear the drift cause they don't understand. It ain't about losing control. It's about finding it in the chaos. Making art from the madness. Some people scared to slide. Rather crash going straight than master going sideways. But me, I make the pavement my canvas. And these ties my brush. Zay Renz, living perpendicular in a parallel world.
They want us broken, walking with our heads down. But every morning I wake up is a small revolution. Every smile in the storm is an act of war. This is my declaration of life.
I choose joy like it's an act of defiance. Dancing in the rain while the world stays silent. They want my spirit broken, want my light dim, but I'ma shine anyway, that's how I win. First light, breaking through the darkest pain. Every laugh is resistance, every smile breaks chains. They can take everything, but they can't touch my soul. Choosing joy in the darkness, that's the ultimate goal. Wake up grateful just to piss them off. They profit off our sorrow, so joy is the cost of doing business in a world that feeds on despair. I smile at the devil like I'm still here. Cook breakfast while the bills pile high. Season struggle with some laughter, let the flavors multiply. Cause what they don't tell you about survival's this: sometimes breathing is revolutionary bliss. I high five my reflection like we made it through the night. Every dawn is a rematch and I'm ready for the fight. Not with fists but with persistence, not with hate but with light. Turn my pain into a prism, watch the colors take flight. They want us hopeless, but hope is my weapon. They want us joyless, but joy is my method. Every celebration in the struggle is a middle finger up to the systems that expected me to give up. I choose joy like it's an act of defiance. Dancing in the rain while the world stays silent. They want my spirit broken, want my light dim, but I'ma shine anyway, that's how I win. First light, breaking through the darkest pain. Every laugh is resistance, every smile breaks chains. They can take everything, but they can't touch my soul. Choosing joy in the darkness, that's the ultimate goal. I throw parties in the middle of my problems, not to escape, but to show I ain't forgotten how to live while I'm fighting, how to love while I'm struggling, how to find a rhythm even when the beat's troubling. The block taught me joy is a form of resistance. When you smile through the storm, that's divine persistence. Taught me joy ain't circumstantial, it's a choice you make. Every morning that you rise is another chain you break. So I blast music while I'm broke, sing loud while I hurt. Plant flowers in the concrete, make beauty from the dirt. They want my story to be tragic, want my ending to be sad, but I'm a plot twist, they whole narrative. Joy is what I have. To everyone who danced at their own funeral, who laughed when they said it was over, who chose light when darkness was logical. This your anthem, this your closure. Joy is resistance when they expect you to break. Love is revolution when they teach you to hate. Hope is defiance when they defeat you despair. So rebel with me, throw your light in the air. I refuse to be a casualty of their design. Every breath is a protest, every dream is a sign that they can't kill what they didn't create. My joy is ancestral, it's written in my face. So I smile at bill collectors, laugh with my day ones. Find light in the struggle, make flowers from the guns. This ain't toxic positivity, this is warrior code. I acknowledge all the darkness, but I still choose to glow. Choose joy, like it's an act of defiance. Dancing in the rain while the world stays silent. They want my spirit broken, want my light dim, but I'ma shine anyway, that's how I win. First light, breaking through the darkest pain. Every laugh is resistance, every smile breaks chains. They can take everything, but they can touch my soul. Choosing joy in the darkness, that's the ultimate goal. Every morning you wake up and choose to smile. Every time you laugh when they expect you to cry. Every dance in the rain, every song in the pain, that's your revolution, that's your power. The world wants you broken, but you're unbreakable. Zay Renz, rise up.
Yeah, I touched the ground in like 3 days. Gravity optional when your mind elevated. Watch me float, watch me float, watch me float, watch me float. I levitate, high above the fake. Mind in the clouds, but my vision never shake. They can't reach me where I'm going, I'm awake. Levitate, watch my soul escape. Float through the pressure like it's oxygen. Toxic thoughts beneath me, I'm not boxing in. Rising past the ceiling, they try to make my coffin in. Levitate, impossible's where I begin. Feet ain't touched the pavement since I changed my mind state. Third eye navigation, let my spirit migrate. They throwing stones at heaven, but I'm past the gate. Astral plane living while they marinating hate. I'm moonwalking on stardust, defying every law. What goes up don't come down when you transcend the flaw. Medication got me floating through the fog. Used to drown in shallow water, now I'm breathing with the gods. Bounce, watch me ricochet off clouds. Doubt tried to anchor me, but look who's laughing now. My frequency too high for their antenna to receive. They study in my footprints, but I ain't touched the street. They say what goes up, but I ain't coming down. My elevation permanent, can't hear them from these clouds. I levitate, high above the fake. Mind in the clouds, but my vision never shake. They can't reach me where I'm going, I'm awake. Levitate, watch my soul escape. Float through the pressure like it's oxygen. Toxic thoughts beneath me, I'm not boxing in. Rising past the ceiling, they tried to make my coffin in. Levitate, impossible's where I begin. Gravity's a social construct, I opt out the physics. Mind over matter, turn my pain into lifted spirits. They want me grounded, but my DNA is cosmic. Try to diagnose my flight pattern, they can't spot it. I'm in the stratosphere, strategizing with my sins. Turned every loss into healing, now watch me ascend. My depression tried to drown me, but I learned to swim in air. Now I backstroke through the cosmos, not a worry or a care. Turbulence can't shake me. Haters shooting rockets, but they'll never space me. I rewrote the rules while floating in the ether. Now I'm teaching angels how to be a true believer. I can see forever from up here. All my problems look like ants dancing on the ceiling of existence. This what freedom really is. Weight of the world, I don't feel it. Chains of the past, I just peeled it. They said touch the sky, but I passed it. Now I'm somewhere they can't imagine. I levitate, high above the fake. Mind in the clouds, but my vision never shake. They can't reach me where I'm going, I'm awake. Levitate, watch my soul escape. Float through the pressure like it's oxygen. Toxic thoughts beneath me, I'm not boxing in. Rising past the ceiling, they try to make my coffin in. Levitate, impossible's where I begin. Still rising, still climbing. Find me where the air gets thin, where impossible begins. Levitate.
They needed a monster, so they made us one. Every headline a horror story with our face on it. But monsters ain't born, they're written, and we're tired of being your bedtime story.
They turned us into boogeymen to help you sleep at night. Blame us for your nightmares while you tucked in tight. Need a villain for your story, just point at our skin. Beautiful lie, we're the threat. Ugly truth, the call coming from within. Boogeyman, hiding in your head. Not under your bed, but in the lies you're fed. They write fiction about people, call it breaking news. Now kids scared to go to school, tell me who's abused.
Springfield sunrise, but they painting us as darkness. Said we eating pets while they feast on our carcass. Metaphorical cannibals consuming our humanity. Then wonder why we move through life with anxiety. They clean our houses, raise our kids, but on the news they're an invasion, a threat that must be rid. They work 3 jobs sending money to their mothers, but they count them as numbers in the murderer cluster. Facts don't matter when fear sells better. Truth gets buried under scarlet letters. They tattoo criminal on our kids' futures before they even learn to tie their sneakers. They ask why they hate us, we don't got the words. How you explain being hunted just for being observed? They needed someone to blame for their American pain, so they pointed at the ones who just wanted to remain. They turned us into boogeymen to help you sleep at night. Blame us for your nightmares while you tucked in tight. Need a villain for your story, just point at our skin. Beautiful lie, we're the threat. Ugly truth, the call coming from within. Boogeyman, boogeyman, hiding in your head, not under your bed, but in the lies you're fed. They write fiction about people, call it breaking news. Now kids scared to go to school, tell me who's abused. Governor called it garbage, but the damage already done. Got kids asking why they saying we eat someone. How we explain that hatred don't need logic to spread, that lies travel faster than the truth that's left unsaid. They weaponize our existence for political theater. Every face becomes a feature in their creature feature. Double feature, we're lazy but stealing your jobs. We're worthless but somehow masterminds of criminal mobs. We're exhausted watching them explain the humanity daily. Tired of seeing how they're forced to portray safety. Our bones ache watching them carry these projections. Our souls tired of being used for their misdirection. When you can't face the monster in your mirror, you create one that makes your reflection clearer. We're not your boogeyman, we're somebody's father, somebody's daughter, just trying to swim above the slaughter. They feast on fear while we starve for acceptance, turn our dreams into their weapons of mass deception. But our people were made of stronger thread, will outlive every lie that they've spread. So call us what you want, we've heard it all before. Every slur just hardens the armor that we wore. You can't kill dignity with conspiracy theories, can't erase our children with your made-up queries. We're building anyway, loving anyway, rising still, teaching our babies they're beautiful against your will. Every lie you tell just proves what we already knew. The real monster was never us, it's always been you. You turned us into boogeymen, but we're stealing back the night, teaching our children that shadows just mean you're standing in the light. Your villain narratives crumbling, the truth breaking through, beautiful lies dying, and the monster looks like you. No more boogeymen, we're taking back our names. No more scapegoats for your economic pains. We're writing our own stories and they're beautiful, not scary. The only thing to fear is the truth that we carry. We're not monsters, we're miracles. We're not invaders, we're survivors. Every lie you tell makes us stronger. Every fear you spread brings us closer. The boogeyman was never real, but we are.
Yeah, look at that horizon. Y'all see what I see? That's victory rising. First light, let's go! First light breaking, we made it through the storm. First light shining, knew me being born. Darkness tried to break us, but we stood firm. First light, now it's our turn. Hands up high, we survivors in this place. Glory rising, see the smile on my face. What tried to kill us made us harder to break. First light, wide awake. I went through hell and brought back souvenirs. Every scar's a medal, every pain's a cheer. They tried to bury me but didn't know I was a seed. Now I'm standing tall, harvest time indeed. Beautiful lies, I see through them with clarity. Golden key just broke them down with my reality. Boogeyman stories, I rewrote the narrative. First light hitting, I'm the hero, not comparative. From unforgiven to untouchable, watch the glow up. Sunrise, rebellion, every day I show up. They want me broken, but I came back stronger. First light energy, I can't wait no longer. First light breaking, we made it through the storm. First light shining, knew me being born. Darkness tried to break us, but we stood firm. First light, now it's our turn. Hands up high, we survivors in this place. Glory rising, see the smile on my face. What tried to kill us made us harder to break. First light, wide awake. Trauma tourists thought they watched me fall. Now they witnesses to how I ball. Perfect strangers taught me real from fake. Now I'm whole, every move I make. Good karma coming back tenfold. Levitating past what I was told. My bloodline blessed, generational wealth. First light showed me how to be myself. Turn it up, this ain't time for being quiet. We survive, that's a reason for a riot. Of joy, of praise, of celebration. First light hitting every nation. We rose, we shine, we broke through on time. No more darkness, no more pain. First light, breaking chains. This my victory lap, crown on my head. They counted me out, but I ain't dead. Plot twist, I'm the author of my story. First light, bringing all the glory. Every setback was a setup for this moment. Every breakdown was a breakthrough component. They tried to dim my light, but I'm solar powered. First light energy, I'm Superman empowered. To everyone who said I wouldn't make it, watch me now, foundation ain't shaking. To everyone still fighting through the night, hold on, here comes first light. First light breaking, we made it through the storm. First light shining, knew me being born. Darkness tried to break us, but we stood firm. First light, now it's our turn. Hands up high, we survivors in this place. Glory rising, see the smile on my face. What tried to kill us made us harder to break. First light, wide awake. We made it. First light champions. Darkness defeated. New day, new way. The sun is ours. The future's bright. We're still here. First light. I speak to the unborn, to the dream still forming. This ain't just rap, this resurrection. Every word a prediction, every bar a protection. I write the future in my DNA, genetic calligraphy. My bloodline's biography, ain't no casualty. I'm the period at the end of poverty sentence. The first word in my children's independence. From concrete prophecies, I birthed marble monuments. My struggle was the down payment on the opulence. Not talking about chains, I mean mental liberation. I'm Moses with the Midas touch, golden generation. Every scar I carry is a roadmap they won't travel. Every battle that I won means they won't have to battle. I plant trees in shade I'll never feel, but my seeds gon' feast on fruits that's real. Prophecy, I speak it into existence. Legacy, beyond my earthly distance. My children's children gonna walk on water. I'm breaking every chain, generational slaughter. Prophecy, written in my veins. Destiny, flowing through my pain. What they stole from us, we taking back ×3. This my prophecy. Yeah, I'm Nostradamus with the flow, predict my lineage winning. Every loss I took was just the future's beginning. Compound interest on my pain, watch the growth rate. My great-grand's gonna be born at the gold gate. I decode poverty's genome, rewrite the sequence. My descendants speaking languages I'm barely dreaming. They gon' own the buildings where I couldn't get employed. Every ceiling that I shattered is their floor to build on. Boy, prophets don't get prophets, but my prophecy's an asset. Future fortune tellers reading fortunes from my casket. I'm investing in dimensions I can't even visit yet, but my bloodline got the visa and the private jet. They try to bury us, but we were seeds. Now watch this forest grow, generation after generation of kings and queens. I speak wealth in the wombs, I speak healing in the souls. I speak genius in the minds that ain't even been designed. This prophecy's divine. My unborn children already enrolled in universities. My grandson's graduation present is his first company. My daughter's daughter breaking laws of physics with her mind. My son's son rewriting history, his story intertwined with greatness that I manifested in this very breath. I'm dying rich in ways that overcome my death. Currency of character compounding through my blood. Every tear I cry becomes a generational flood of blessings. I'm the last slave in my family tree, believe that. The last one begging, the last one bleeding on kneecaps. My prophecy's a promise sign, it's a celestial link. My legacy's a million ships that poverty can't sink. I speak it into existence. Legacy beyond my earthly distance. My children's children gonna walk on water. I'm breaking every chain, generational slaughter. Prophecy written in my veins, destiny flowing through my pain. What they stole from us, we taking back ×3. This my prophecy. Watch it breathe. To the souls I'll never meet but forever protect. To the dreams I'm planting in futures I'll never inspect. Every word I speak is legally binding in heaven's court. My prophecy, your passport. The giants I'm slaying today are the pebbles beneath your feet tomorrow. I love you before you exist. This is my prophecy, my promise, my gift.
Say no halfway love is that holy ground where two whole souls meet, make a sacred sound.
Used to think love meant losing myself in you. Now I know it's bringing myself, that's the truth. Two complete circles that used to intertwine. Not filling voids, recreating new designs. I'm not your savior, you ain't my redemption. We're equals building kingdoms, pay attention. Sacred ground means we both came here whole. Not trading pieces, we're merging our souls. This that grown love, foundation already laid. Not desperate grasping, this a choice that we made. I water your garden, you nurture my seeds. Partnership, not ownership, that's what love needs.
Not asking you to complete me, I'm already defined. Just want you to meet me where your sacred touch is mine. This is sacred ground, where we stand as blessed. Two temples meeting, not a holy mess. I don't need you, I choose you, that's the difference now. Building altars where we worship sacred ground. Sacred ground, every touch is prayer. Every word between us sanctified in air. Not codependent, dependent, feel the power now. This the love that legends speak of, sacred ground. I spent years becoming who I'm meant to be. Not about to shrink myself for your fantasy. Want a queen, then recognize my crown is earned. Through fires I walk through while my soul burned. But I choose to share my kingdom with your heart. Not because I need you, but you live in art. The way you see me without trying to fix. Two holes make infinity, that's mathematics.
Your strength don't threaten me, it elevates my own. Your growth don't limit me, it's how love is shown. We're writing scriptures with the way we interact. Sacred ground means that we multiply, not subtract.
This is holy, holy.
This is sacred. We meet, the ground gets consecrated.
Not possession,
but protection
of each other's resurrection. I see God in how you love me.
I see heaven when you trust me.
Sacred ground ain't found, it's made by the foundation that we've laid.
It's different from the trauma bonds I used to call love. It's that Sunday morning blessing from above. You don't complete me, you complement my whole. Like harmony to melody, you amplify my soul. Sacred ground means I can show you all my scars without you trying to fix them or count them as bars. To cage me in your healing fantasy, we heal beside each other, not codependency.
Sacred ground, where we stand is blessed. Two temples meeting, not a holy mess. I don't need you, I choose you, that's the difference now. Building altars where we worship sacred ground. Sacred ground, every touch is prayer. Every word between us sanctified in air. Not codependent, dependent, feel the power now. This the love that legends speak of, sacred This is holy, to hold people, choosing slowly to build something that the broken could never make. Sacred ground for the sacred sake.
I choose you.
I choose you too.
Feel that static. Body glitching, short circuit, every step I take. Floors worship it, voltage in my veins, pure energy. Dance floor throne, come rent in me. City black out, we still glow in the dark. Power plant legs, watch the wattage spark. Shock the system when I activate. Current a wave, let a misbehave.
Hands up, feel the surge. Bodies crash, rhythms merge. No permission, just immerse. This the jolt you deserve. Electricity all running through my veins. Electricity, no one that pulls the reins. City lights flicker when the sun goes down. We ignite the night, powered by the sound. Electricity, feel it in your chest. Electricity, this is not a test. I'm the live wire, touch me, spark the crowd. Shockwave love, we light the
Been loud,
sound.
different walking power station. Bluetooth, soul, and fully nation syndication. Stream my frequency, no buffering. Kinetic in the hips, potential infinite. Solely charged swagger, lunar in my drips. Renewable serotonin doing backflips. Conductor, fun maestro, up free. You ain't felt alive till you dance next to me.
Feel the static, automatic. Heart mechanic, joy organic.
Can you feel it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Static, automatic, 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 automatic. Static, automatic, organic, galactic, galactic. With the power,
No creator, greater. Kilowatts killing it, megahertz thrilling it. Transformer tendencies, whole room feeling it. Biomechanical moves, medicinal prescription for the blues. Get electrical.
Human gaddy pack, never holding back. Magnetize masses, any spot I attack. Science can't name what they're dancing for. Hit the half bar rest, then explode the floor.
Electricity running through our veins. Electricity, no one pulls the reins. City lights flicker when the sun goes down. We ignite the night, powered by the sound. Electricity, feel it in your chest. Electricity, this is not a test. Conductor of the vibe, orchestrate the crowd. Touch us and you might just spark right now.
drop, drop, don't stop. We hot, we are, we are, we are. They said we never wake up, said we die in our sleep. But look around, you ain't alone no more. This is the gathering. Sound the alarm, we gathering now. Every soul that broke free from the beautiful lie. No more scattered, no more silent, no more bowing down. This the gathering, awakened ones, it's our time. Pull up if you see through the matrix code. Pull up if you turn your scars into gold. We ain't just survivors, we architects now. The gathering, watch us shake the whole ground. Started this journey thinking I was alone in the dark. Now I see lighthouses everywhere, each playing their part. We were beautiful liars till the mask cracked open. Golden cages couldn't hold what we had awoken. Every unforgiven built boundaries like fortresses. Every sunrise rebel turned pain into their offices. We stopped being trauma, tourists in each other's grief. Started building real love, not performative relief. From perfect strangers, the whole soul standing tall. Boogeymen no more, we reclaimed it all. Levitated past the limits they said we couldn't break. First light warriors, everything's at stake. If you heard the prophecy, step forward. If you found sacred ground, come toward us. If you went sideways to find your way, this your summons to the gathering today. Sound the alarm, we gathering now. Every soul that broke free from the beautiful lie. No more scattered, cities like storm fronts approaching. Every lighthouse beaming signals sacred ground we're coaching. Dodgeball veterans who learn to catch what they throwing. Rear view prophets who remember while still growing. This ain't a meeting, it's a movement multiplication. Every awakened soul becomes a transformation station. We downloading truth, uploading liberation files. Gathering warriors who traveled a million miles. From broken to builders, from victims to victors crown. From solo to symphony, listening to the sound. Each voice an instrument, together we compose the soundtrack to the future that we chose.
Count off if you ready. Beautiful liars found truth. Golden cage breakers, unforgiven and unashamed. Sunrise rebellion in your veins. Whole souls, no more parts. First light in your hearts. Sacred ground beneath your feet. This is where the awakening. To everyone who bled through their metamorphosis. To everyone who broke free from the populace. We ain't just woke, we wide awake and building. Taking ugly truths and making something fulfilling. No more isolation, we connecting constellations. Bridging broken souls across the nation. Every scar's a star in our collective sky. Every tear we shed, waters wings to fly. This the gathering, not the end, but the beginning. Every loss we took was practice for this winning. Sound the horns like the beacons in the car. Beautiful lies crumble when they gather stand tall. Sound the alarm, we gathering now. Every soul that broke free from the beautiful light. No more scattered, no more silent, no more bowing down. It's the gathering, awakened ones, it's our time. Pull up if you see through the matrix code. Pull up if you turn your scars into gold. We ain't just survivors, we architects now. The gathering, watch us shake the whole ground.
They thought they buried us, but we were seeds. Now look at this forest. The gathering ain't just an ending, it's Genesis. To everyone who made it through the beautiful lies, welcome to the other side. We got work to do. Zay Renz, The Gathering. We're just getting started. Alone we expose the lies. Together we build the truth. This is The Gathering. Pull up.